Welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. I am just doing a little bit of knitting here on my Barocco Dolce V-neck drop shoulder cardigan. There's really not much to say about it. I'm still working on the front panel. Once I start working it, it does become quite dare I say, addictive to finish the finish the panel, finish the row, go to the next one. It's quite fun. I really do like working sweaters and other items in pieces and then sewing them up. I have found that I actually prefer to do that than to, I know, shockingly, knit in the round. Knitting in the round is fine. I don't mind it really, but right now I am working on a project that has taken forever and it is becoming quite boring, quite uninspiring, quite, here we go again in the round. And I have quite a bit of knitting left to do on it, although I have finished the body. I will discuss that soon. No, Kiki. Someone is trying to go through my stuff. I came home today and from my walk with the dog in the morning. My dog is named Nellie, with Nell. And one of my cats, Tallulah, the calico, who always shows up, had taken a bag of yarn, chewed through the yarn bag, and was proceeding to kill it. And then was quite angry that I took it away from her. There you go. One more row done. I will just show the piece real quick. It's no biggie. It's beautiful yarn. It is a discontinued yarn, so if you can find it, buy a sweater's quantity. It's gorgeous. So the place I got it from is not selling it anymore. There are some places. It's quite expensive on those places. I got mine for a steal. So let's start with today's podcast. I needed a little self-regulating after work. It was kind of an intense day, and let's leave that behind and move forward. I have one finished object, although it's not fully dry, and it's still damp-ish, especially like on the inside. So I'm going to put a fan on it. I did have a fan on it yesterday, but I do not like leaving the house with a lot of things on for various reasons. It's quite heavy right now because it is so damp. My Foyka sweater. I did 7 inches. In the pattern it stated 8 inches, but I don't have that long of a neck. And growing up, I had quite a lot of issues with turtlenecks. But I did put this on before blocking, and it was fine. It wasn't too itchy either. Right now, because it's wet, it's like, well, it's like a real wet blanket. So, I finished it. It looks so much better now that I wet blocked it. I wet blocked it in pure water. I did not soak it with wool soap. I didn't want to. My microphone keeps getting attached. I'm going to just hold it like this. Now, I finished this on Memorial Day, which is one of the last Mondays or the third Monday of May in the United States. It is a day of remembrance of those who have fallen, who fought in wars. It's not a happy day, although commercialism has taken it over, and that's why you can buy cheap appliances or whatnot, because, nothing is sacred. I do have opinions, but I spent the day at home working on this diligently, and once I got to 7 inches, I said, you know what? That's going to be fine. I put it on before I bound off. I bound off in, so I did the ribbing, neck, cuffs, and hem were all done in size 8 or 5 millimeter. I did cast off, I think, using a 10, so that would be a 6.0 millimeter, because I wanted it to have enough stretch just in case. I found, I have to get this off of me, it is just too wet. It's beautiful though. I'm just gonna set it over here. My cord gets caught. Okay. Where was I? I have found when I first put it on with out blocking it, it was quite tight in this area. This area where you join the sleeves and you start knitting up, especially in this like 1x1 area, or you know, the light blue and the white, because there's not a lot of floats, so I didn't really stretch it. I thought it'd be fine. I probably will the next time I make one of her patterns, because I do have the yarn for at least one more. I will size up to a size 11. So I did the body of the work, sleeves, the body in size 10. So 8 on the cuffs, size 10 on the body, and then I went up to a 10.5 on the color work. Now, for the sleeves, I didn't have a large enough needle to do it, and I needed the shorties, and the shorties only go up to 10, and I thought, oh, it'll be fine. No. So next time, maybe I will have to learn how to do double pointed needles or really knit loosely. I did make a mistake, as I have stated before, attaching the sleeves and the body to match the pattern. That is why on mine you see the solid area on both sides of the sweater, front and back. I just kind of finagled the sweater to fit the pattern. I kept in the pattern repeat, row 4 is very important. It is the same all the way up the sweater. Row 3 and 4. So as I was doing things, I made sure, because row 1, what am I saying? Stitch 1 of the 6 stitch pattern, not row. I'm sorry. I'm a little out of it, I guess. A little flustered. Okay. I'll just show this one. This is not the part that I made a mistake on, but you have stitch 1, stitch 6, and then you have your pattern. I redid mine because I did a different colorway, and so on the pattern part for the upper yoke, I made sure I had stitch 4 and stitch 1, which is down here, organized. So I could just make sure, because this stitch 1 was very important with decreasing on 2 decreases. And then I just made sure that I kept stitch 4, and I just kind of finagled so it would look like the pattern. I think I did a pretty good job. Not 100%, but pretty good. I got it out of this book, Wilderness Knits by Linka Neumann. I love this sweater. I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of this sweater. And because I made a mistake in the pattern, I just made it intentional. Now, as you can see, that's the colorway I did, but there are various options that you can do. The next sweater, I haven't decided on which one yet, because it's kind of hot. And it's only going to get hotter in the summer. Now, yeah, I said right here, depending on blocking, I may size up to a size 11 for my colorwork part, or size up on the sweater size. I did the 4 size. I believe there's not many sizes. There's 5 sizes, and I did the 4 size, an extra large. But they're supposed to be bulky and worn over clothes. And I can tell ever since I blocked this, I did go in and kind of stretch it out a little bit. It seems wider. It seems a lot wider than it was. So once it's dry, I will check it out. I'm just going to lay it over here. I keep getting caught in my cord. Hopefully the cats don't come over and take it because they're saucy. So I'm so happy it's done. It smells deliciously woolly. It smells so good. I cannot wait to wear it in the winter or in the fall, and it'll be glorious. Now, I did some work on some other of my items. I'm only going to show 2 more whips, and then I have a couple things that I haven't been touching that I am going to start touching again because I've been focusing on a couple of them. Now, I'm making this lace cardigan by Leisure Arts. To show a quick picture, trying to get out of the glare. I was gonna do the sleeve in the size that I'm working on, which is, I believe, the 4th size. Yeah, it was. I'm working the 4th size, which would be a 48 bust circumference because I want it a little loose and not so tight. Plus, I'm wearing it over clothing. But then when I was looking at the sleeve schematics, I realized I have it here. So this is the sleeve that I was working on. I took it off the needles. I was like looking at it as I was knitting, and I'm like, and I'd put it on my wrist. I'm like, you know, even if I take in a little bit, that's still really big. And then I looked at the finished circumference of the sleeve up here, and it would be 17 inches around. And so then I took out my measuring tape and I measured 17 inches, and that would be like 3 inches too big. So then I looked at the schematics for the 3rd size, and that goes to 15¼ inches. So I sized down. I thought, why not? It'll be fine. I will be able to fit it in. It's only like, when you start out, it's only, I think, 4 stitches smaller. Yeah, 4 stitches smaller. And it ends up being 8 inches smaller. And 8 inches smaller when you measure across is about 2 inches. So I think that will be good. It'll be, it says in here 15¼ inches. I measured that. That looked like it would be comfortable on my sleeve. So I just started the sleeve over. I am going to rip out my other sleeve as I talk about it. I have noticed with this pattern that depending on how I do my yarn overs, I get really kind of loosey-goosey. There is no ribbing on this pattern. You go back with single crochet for the 1st round and reverse single crochet for the 2nd round, tying everything together. It does give a nice finished edge according to the pictures. And so oops, I caught a cat. No, there's a kitty underneath my chair and I caught a cat. So I am using my Knit Picks 4 square laminated birch needles. They're very nice. The pattern is really relatively simple to do. This book is a discontinued book. I found mine, I think, via Amazon, but it was sold by the company Thrift Books. And I've talked about this at length. I'm using Big Twist yarn, the cotton poly, according to what I heard on, I believe, Jack in the Attic. She has a YouTube video about the Big Twist yarn and how Hirschner's, with 2 R's, is selling it on their website, and they are based in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Now, there's really not much to say. I'm going to be working on this and getting it done. I have a lot of yarn. I'll probably have a lot of yarn left over so I can make something else with it. It is nice yarn. I don't know what yarn they called for in the pattern because it doesn't state. It just basically said worsted weight, get this gauge. Simple as they were back in the day. So, onward and upward. I am going to talk about my cherry sweater, which I got out of the Sandus Garn. Does not make these books anymore. If you can find them, snag them because they are really nice. Norwegian patterns on average don't give you a lot of information. They give you what's necessary, but they don't give, like, they don't hold your hand very much, okay? They just give you the basics. I thought I needed more width in my pattern, so I added a whole bunch of increases on the side to be about 30 some inches more, stitches more than what the largest pattern states. I'm thinking that might have been a mistake. So that's what it's supposed to look like. You can see a little bit of the shoulder detail, and then there's a striped version. Why is that a mistake? Because I blocked my terpsichore scarf and it grew so much. And I thought, oh no, what did I do? I'm going to keep it because I'm not ripping back because, oh my God, I am so sick of this sweater. I'm knitting it on Knit Picks Upcycle Alpaca Blend in the Sport Weight color Squirrel. Presently, they still only have the worsted weights available, probably a similar colorway but called something else. I am working on a sleeve, and even though I can't tell in the viewfinder what's going on, I know I've looked on, once I published my video, I watched it and to see if you could see anything because it is so monochromatic in some ways. So you can see the rolled edges. Now, I decided I did not want my front to be a bit higher than my back. So I made them the same. They said to knit 6 centimeters. I went down to 5.5 because when the first one I did, I measured incorrectly. I made sure that they were even, and then you do a purl row, and because you're knitting back and forth, so I just did a knit row on the purl side, and then you do another 3 centimeters, and then I will tack this down once I block it. I was wrong in thinking that the string part was the front. It is not. It sits much nicer when I put it on with the string in back. Now I have to get down to, I have to make the sleeves 18 centimeters, which is approximately 6 inches or so. I'm going to try it on because I'm not really that long, but right now it's sitting way up here and I kind of want it to be right here. So I do have quite a bit to go. Once I get to that mark, then I do another purl bump, and then I do another 3 centimeters so I can sew it and tack it down. Now, when I first tried this on, I tried it on right after I split for sleeves. And you can see, I'll hold it over here, you can see I really kind of grew in this area. Now that when I'm going to block it, I'm a little nervous. I'm going to think it's going to be fine. And I'm like, well, what can I wear it with so it doesn't look like I'm just, wearing a gunny sack. I'm hoping it looks nice. I really am. I'm feeling a bit disheartened that I made another mistake with my knitting, and I can't have every thumbnail say, I made another mistake. I made another mistake, but it happens. And it is a lovely yarn. It really shines in the sunlight with pinks and reds, and it makes me really happy to see it. My cat loves it, and she's been trying to steal it. So I'm kind of turning this into a late at night, or I only have 15 minutes and I can just knit a little bit in the round on my sleeve. And then hopefully it'll get done sooner than later because I want this off my needles. It has been on for far too long. I think I started this last summer and I just let it languish because it was fun with the raglan part. I remember thinking, wow, this is really going fast. I'm really enjoying this. I'm going through the raglan. Woohoo! Woo-hoo! And then once I split for sleeves and increased the circumference, it just became this, oh, just to do one round. I want to say, okay, so what's 186 times 2? 12, carry the 1, 16, 17, carry the 1, 7, 2, 372 stitches, and sport weight using size 5, my laminated birch 4 square needles from Knit Picks. It just, ugh. When I split for the hem, it really went fast, and that's when I started thinking, oh yeah, I think I'm just a back and forth knitter. I like the variety. I like the simplisticness of knitting and purling. I'm an English knitter, so I don't mind purling. And I like going back and forth. It gives me like, okay, I'm going to get this one done. Oh, I have a little bit more time. I'm going to get this one done. It gives me pleasure that way. Sometimes knitting around, it just doesn't seem like it's growing until it does. Now, knitting in the round with like bulky yarn or worsted weight, a lot better. Anyway, it's coming along. I'm using a size 5 or a 3.75 millimeter. And the Upcycle Alpaca blend is a mixture of acrylic and alpaca and wool. And I am a Knit Picks affiliate member. So if you do decide to click the link in my description below and buy whatever you want to buy on their website, I get a small commission for directing traffic. It adds nothing to your order. And I find their services lovely. I have bought from them since 2019, and I've never had a problem with any of my orders. Even one time they forgot to send me a skein of yarn. I called them up, I told them, and they sent it to me ASAP, and I was so happy. Free shipping with that one too. And if you order so much yarn, and it changes depending on their sales or whatnot, so I can't tell you what the price is. Within domestic US or Canada maybe, it is free shipping. I don't know about overseas. And that's a whole other story. Anyway, now I have quite a number of projects in the works, such as I'm going to start working on my Finley sweater. Oops. It is a color work using my Upcycle Alpaca. And I'm just going to show you this. I put this off to the side when I started working on my Foyka. And now I got to get back to it. I am using my only yoking book. And it is, I'm going to just look. I believe I'm doing the 5th size. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Okay, the Finley, what size? I think I'm doing the 5th size. 5th or 4th, one of the two. And her patterns are lovely. I made the Audrey, and that turned out gorgeous. Yeah, I'm making the 5th size. So I'll show you a picture of it if I can. If I can find one with this person. Sometimes they don't show. Well, here's a small picture. It's the one on top. She does have a lot of size inclusion in her patterns. I really like her patterns. And now what I will find is I will work on the yoke, be totally, yeah, this is fun, excellent. And then I'll split for sleeves, and then I'll get bored because it'll be in the round and it'll have to become one of my things I just get done, like the cherry sweater. And that is just a me thing. That's just who I am. Like I stated, want to knit back and forth. So I said to myself, you want more cardigans, and the only way you're going to get more cardigans if you start knitting more cardigans. I am working on my vegetable patch cardigan. I'll start that back up. And what else? That's the only other cardigan. So then I decided I love what I dubbed my pixelated sweater. I was wearing it earlier. It is just too moist in my house to wear it now, and I love it. I also had bought at that same time, back in 2019, this is how long I've had this yarn, 10 balls of Knit Picks Palette Camel Twist. So nice. I love this yarn. I love that sweater. I reach for that sweater all the time. Now, I just started. I just cast on and did one row. And I am doing a 2x2 ribbing with this one. And this one will be different because my first one was a crew neck. And I made it kind of like oversized. And this one's going to be a size down. So it's going to be a little bit more form-fitting. And it's going to be a tapered sleeve versus the big, wide, long, big sleeve. So with the V-neck, it'll have a little bit of, even though it's similar in color as in the marlness of it, it is not similar in color in the, would you call it tone? The other one is a darker brown called Briar Twist. I don't think they make these marl yarns anymore. I could be wrong. I looked on their site recently and I didn't see any. But this one's a lighter beige. So I decided to design my own sweater because I find this book to be perfect for that simplistic sweater to just, put on, put under something. It's wonderful. So I'm actually making 2 cardigans at the same time using this similar pattern, but the other one is in a larger gauge. So this is a fingering weight, I should mention, and I'm using size 2, US size 2 for the 2x2 ribbing, and US size 3 for the body of the sweater. I'm going to do the fronts and the back in size 42-inch bust, and I'm going to do the sleeves in size 40-inch bust because of my arm length. I'm using Knitter's Pride needles, and they are my fixed circulars that I bought eons ago. So it's kind of exciting. I'm like, I thought about combining it with a different yarn. I have a lace weight alpaca. I don't know if it's silk, alpaca silk. I know it's alpaca for sure. I think I got it from Webs via Amazon years ago, and it was very nice. They made a denser fabric, but when I picked up my sweater, before I decided on everything, when I picked up my sweater that I already made, and I just felt that lightness, that comfort. It's just like the perfect weight for early fall, early spring, late spring, because sometimes it's chilly, sometimes it's not, and it's just that nice weight, and it's been really temperature regulating versus the synthetics that I used to wear. So that's wonderful. And Bud, I'm just going to show a picture. These books, they're very nice. It's a spreadsheet. So you just find the weight, or I shouldn't say the weight, the gauge of your yarn. So with the needles, you can choose any size weight of yarn. You can choose any size needle. You can choose any kind of yarn. And so with the size US 3 and my fingering weight yarn, I came up to 7 stitches per inch. I have enough yarn to make this whole sweater. Super excited about that. And then the next one, this one's a longer story. So originally last spring, this is a Knit Picks book. I got this for $5. They still have them on their website. $5 for quite a number of patterns, and their patterns have always been really well explained. I really like them. So I was gonna make this cardigan, the Iraq. I don't know. Well, let's put it up. So it has a lace detail. It's a crew neck. Theirs is done in sport weight, simply cotton. So, you know, so I have sport weight yarn. I did match gauge, which is 24 stitches per 4 inches. So 6 stitches per inch. I am using size 3, US 3 for, I think I'm doing 3x3 ribbing because I changed it. I should write that down. Yeah, I'm doing 3x3 ribbing. I decided to change it up just a little bit. I am still doing the body of the sweater in size 42 and the sleeve in size 40. I should also mention both sweaters I'm using size 40 as my length because that fits me. And so I'm using, I started using Knitter's Pride size 3 because that's what I have in wood, and I may go to Knit Picks well, they're the wood ones, Sunburst, I think they're called, Sunburst in size 4. Now I started this, I have about the same amount done, like one round, and you see that I'm using these dark green needles, which are gorgeous, and this is called titanium. This is also upcycle alpaca. Now I started using this yarn for this cardigan last spring, last spring, summer. And you start, Ellie says hello. You start, I'm just gonna wait. Someone's walking their dog and they have a stroller. So that means they're a double threat. Especially the stroller. Someone came, hello, I'm scared because I hear the dog barking. This is Anya. I'm going to put Anya back down. There we go. She was hiding underneath the chair. Okay, where was I? Okay, you're so good now. Now, want a treat? Where did the treat go? I think the cats ate your treat. I had it over here. Well, I lost the treat. Okay, hold on. I will find a treat later. I'm sorry. Okay, I did have a treat over here for her, but I think the cats knocked it down. Oh, I found it. Haha. Ready? Treat. Ready? Up at the couch. Up at the couch. Up at the couch. What? There you go. So, I started this sweater last summer. Was working on it. I was using metal needles. I was using my Knitter's Pride Sing, which have a blunt tip. These have a nice pointy tip. I used a lifeline. I actually had 2 in there, but I made a mistake in, I used a thread and needle. I used all the way through, So I won't be doing that anymore. I will use these little holes. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, this is the fixed circular. You can't see. There's little holes on my interchangeable that I'll use the crochet thread to mark my spot, like I do with my Dolce and my other sweaters that I've shown. Now, knitting with this yarn, it's really beautiful. I'm gonna get a big skein out of here. It's this really dark gray. It kind of has a nice sheen to it. And knitting at night or at dusk without a lot of light is near impossible. So when I was knitting this other sweater, I was making mistakes. I made so many mistakes. I just took it all apart because you knit all the way across. So you're doing the two fronts and the back all at the same time to the armpits, and then you change and you do the other stuff. I still want to make that sweater. I am now going to use, because I have a lot of this yarn. When Knit Picks has their 2 for $6 sale in November, I stock up on the $2 yarn. So these are normally $10 skeins, and at the time they were blowing them out for $2. This is the color Salmon, and it is so pretty. I believe I'll be able to see this better and see where I'm going. That's my hope. That's my hope. Because I really want that sweater, that cardigan. I think it's really beautiful and I want it. But with this yarn, I decided I want a gray cardigan for the ease of blending with a lot of options at work. Plus, you know, I would like to have maybe 10 cardigans so I don't have to keep wearing the same ones over and over. So far I have 2. So yeah, I started with that. Those are actually going to be nice to do because I can just go, okay, I'm going to do the ribbing to a certain amount, write that down so I can be accurate for the other pieces, and then it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So another reason why I started these new projects is that it helps me finish things that have been languishing on the needles, like my cherry sweater, because you know it like, how can I put it, I've been wanting to do this for so long, these cardigans, and yet I wanted to use up my yarn. I want to use up I mean, I've had this for 6 years and I've been like waiting for that perfect thing to come along, and the perfect thing is cardigan. So I'm just gonna do it because it's my work ethic, right? It's what I want to do because I don't know, I'm kind of losing steam here. I'm a little tired. I've had a long day. It was a long day at work. It just was. It's the end of the year and there's just a lot of emotions going on, and I don't like writing kids up ever, but I will. So right now I have -2, -3. I only have 19 projects. I have a little list here of things that I do. It keeps me organized. So yeah, I mean, some things are, I have a couple blankets and a crochet cat couch that I just need to get done, and I just need the time. A lot of times I knit more than crochet right now because I can just pull it out real quick, do a little bit, put it down, and go back and forth. That's why I do like knitting things in pieces versus having to pull. Like when this got to this part, it became so hard. It was so boring. I'm like, well, it's 1 by 1 rib. And then after like a few rounds, I'm like, it's not growing. is not doing anything. You know, with the color work change, it keeps you motivated. Oh, now I'm working on a blue. Now I'm working on a dark blue. It's just who I am. I like a little challenge with my knits, and I also like a little familiarity. And just knitting in the round is so boring, in my opinion. And that is my opinion. I know lots of people who just love sitting down, knitting around, because then they don't have to think. It works, but sometimes I need to think. Sometimes I need a difficult project like my Patton's cable, socks, my vegetable patch, to get me out of thinking not so happy thoughts. Because sometimes life is hard and you just have to do the things you have to do. Now, that is about it for today. I do want to say thank you so much for subscribing and liking my videos. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. I learned something with Canva. I signed up for the free month of Canva and, free trial period. And then, next month I would have to pay $120 for the year. It's nice. I like Canva a lot. Now, I thought I would be able to edit my videos on Canva. However, through asking their help option on their site, I found out that I could never edit a video larger than 1 gigabyte, which is probably 5, maybe 10 minutes long. And let's face it, I have the gift for gab and I keep on talking. So I stated in my thing when I was canceling my subscription why, and I said because I can't edit long videos, and that's why I signed up for it in the first place. Then they offered me a year for $90, and I thought about it. I was like, but then I was like, I like the options I have with free Canva, and I'm not, as you can see, I'm not a big frilly type of person. I don't need a lot of stuff for my thumbnails. So I'm just going to go with the free Canva as of now. What I am hoping that someone can give me some advice. I have a Pixel 8a phone and I have a Chromebook. Both are relatively new. But for whatever reason, early on in my recording of videos, I changed something by accident and I don't know how to change it back. Or one of the updates that I did changed it and I don't know how to fix that. But once my video is shared with the cloud, it does not upload to anything else. It always comes up as a files didn't, whatever. It just did not work. So I can upload to YouTube via my phone. Fine. I could upload shorter content to Canva using their app. Fine. And then downloading it and then bringing it over to YouTube. I've been searching and I've been looking, and it's not that I have fear, but I have a lot of caution. There are companies that are recommended and some are free, and it comes with risks because then anybody can use them. Adobe is supposed to be okay, and there's some payments for that, but I gotta make sure before I do anything, I gotta make sure that I can upload a video that's an hour long, say, and it will work with that software. So if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments below. I am a very basic computer knowledge-y person. I can figure things out, but I don't want to spend money that I don't need to spend on things that aren't working. So So on that note, oh, another stroller. A long time ago, let's tell a story about Nellie before we leave. When Nellie was a puppy, we were on a walk, and we don't go on the bike trail anymore due to dogs roaming free and people on bikes and strollers not being courteous. So we were walking, and I remember looking at the scenery and just, da 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 da. And I think first it was a bicyclist almost ran into us, didn't say on your left or behind you or any of the common courtesy, hey, and the noise and the wheels scared her immensely to the point of where she hates scooters, bicycles, motorized scooters, people on rollerblades, and strollers. Now there was this issue with a stroller as well, in that same kind of capacity, like a person was running or whatever, and it came up on us suddenly and spooked us. So that's why now when she sees strollers going down the road or a person on a scooter, rather either manual or motorized, she does not like them. And don't even try to come around her on a bike, because she does not care for that at all. With all due respect. Oh, I forgot to do one more thing. Real quick. There are other things that I want to work on. And I have printed off, I'm just going to keep it, the ranunculus. I finally bought a pattern because I've been wanting it for a really long time, and then I kind of got dissuaded, like, oh, I don't know if I want it, I don't know. But I jumped on it. I also want to make the stripe hype sweater by Foyka, and also the Sailor Swift tank top. And then there's another short sleeve color work sweater I want to make out of some more of my upcycle alpaca yarn, because I have a lot of it and I want to get it done. Those are my future, hopefully soon, projects as I work on my other stuff. And let's just hope the summer goes well. I'm a little nervous about things. Yeah. Maybe some other time I'll talk about that, because right now I'm really tired and this is almost 15 minutes long, and my daughter will be home quickly, and then I'm taking her to, I think it's a choir concert with her friends, and I'm dropping her off and doing some other stuff, and then I'll go pick her up. So it's going to be a busy, busy night tonight. On that note, I hope everyone is having a good time. Thank you for subscribing. If you like more of this, please subscribe. I upload every Saturday. I think at 9 o'clock in the morning is good. I was doing it at 8 a.m., but who's up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning? I am, but not everybody else. Anyway, take care, have fun. Thanks for stopping by, and keep on knitting. Bye-bye.